Hey guys, today we're going to make some delicious buttermilk biscuits. We are going to use a cheese grater to grate our butter. But for now, we had 3 cups of flour. We're going to add a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, also a quarter teaspoon of salt, and about a full tablespoon of sugar. We're going to mix all that together and then we are going to sift it to make it nice and even. I have a little bit of salt left in mine because I use flaky salt, but I'll add that back in later and stir it up. To our grater, we're going to take our butter that came fresh out of the freezer. We want to make sure it's nice and cold. And sometimes if it gets slippery, just coat it in your flour so that you can get those nice separated even pieces of butter. We're grating it, and sometimes you can use a pastry cutter, but this is easier because most people don't have pastry cutters. So just get all your butter together, add it to your flour, stir it in with a fork or a knife just to get those nice crumbly pieces, and it'll stay separated. You want the butter to be coated with the flour and to stay separated. So it's going to make nice, airy, puffy parts in your biscuit, and it's going to help it to, the baking powder and baking soda is going to help it to rise, and it's just going to be delicious. So these are why you need all these ingredients. So now just mix it all together, making sure all the butter is coated, and make a well. Shake your buttermilk up and pour about a cup of buttermilk in. If you need to add more later, you can always add more, but you can't take it out once it's added. So we're going to create a biscuit that is nice and flaky. So I'm going to show you how to make layers also in your biscuits by folding them over, and it's going to be nice and have nice layers in it. So just mix all your dry ingredients with the buttermilk, and it's going to seem like it's crumbly. You need a little bit more. If you need a little bit more buttermilk, add a couple tablespoons to maybe a quarter cup to it. Take your flour your surface. I'm using just my pie mat that I use for my pie crust. And you can just get all those crumbly. It's going to seem like it's so crumbly, but just be patient with it and don't mess with it too much. Just take it and just pile it up and put it together as much as you can, and press it out gently, because the body heat from your hands is going to cause the butter to melt. So you want to get this part done very quickly without distractions. So don't answer the phone. Don't come back to it. You want to make sure you do this part, and just make your folds like 2 bookends, and then press it out, turn it, and make your folds again. And then you're going to press it out, fold it again, and continue to do this for about 3 or 4 times. And when you do that, it'll cause your biscuits to have a nice flaky layers in it. And as you see, it seems like I'm pressing it out a lot, but I'm just forming it and making sure that I go about maybe an inch thick. So you want to have your biscuits rise up really nicely. Now, meanwhile, I did put my oven on 425 degrees, and I am making sure that I do not, here I'm just going to make sure that I do not turn my biscuit cutter while I'm cutting them out. I'm just going to make sure I go straight up and down with my biscuit cutter, my floured biscuit cutter. And these last ones are not that pretty when you press it back together, but I promise you they still taste the same. And you want to make sure that you put some melted butter into your dish. And I like the butter to lay on the bottom, and then I add all my biscuits in. And sometimes if they're touching, it's okay. I just like to fit them all in, and I put them right into a 425-degree oven and brush them with, you can either use butter to brush them, but I'm using some buttermilk, and this is how they come out after 18 to 20 minutes. And I still like to put some butter on top of them. So I'm just getting some butter, and you can just smooth it over, or you can take a slice off and just, make sure they're all buttered on the top. It makes it really, really nice and pretty when they come out and you add the butter to them. It looks nice and glossy. So make sure when you try this recipe, if you have any questions, just let me know. I make biscuits all the time and they come out differently all the time. So you can use the same ingredients and they still come out differently. But this is my technique using the grater method. And even the bottoms are nice and brown. That butter soaked right into them. I hope you try this recipe, and bye for now.